Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with Dave's Faves. You know, I've been listening to a lot of ballet lately. I don't know why. I think because I've been driving around and it's great in the car. As I've mentioned before, you know, you should always have Delibes in your car. He is the ultimate road music ballet composer. But today I want to talk about Tchaikovsky's The Nutcracker. Because believe it or not, I haven't done a repertoire thing on the Nutcracker, largely because there are just so many good ones. I mean, it's a very difficult piece to kill. Not that it hasn't been, but it's almost impossible. You just get a good sounding one and you're in business. It really is. It's that simple. And the whole ballet is quite brief. It's, well, for a ballet, for a classical ballet, it's about 79, 80 minutes on average, maybe a couple minutes slower. That determines whether it's on one CD or two CDs. There must be a dozen really fine performances of it. And I don't know. It's enchanting. For a zillion years, you never heard the complete ballet, which is a tragedy because the whole thing is wonderful, and it's as long as a Mahler symphony. You can play it straight through as a concert work, and it's just terrific. It really is. And the other thing is that as a ballet, a danced piece, Tchaikovsky intended it as a double bill with his opera Yolanta, and which is really not very interesting. But nothing happens in the second act of the Nutcracker. In the first act, you've got all the juice. Everything happens. You've got the battle with the Mouse King and the breaking of the Nutcracker and the transformation scene when the Christmas tree grows and Clara finds that the Nutcracker, after he kills the Mouse King, is really a prince, and he spirits her off at the end of Act 1 to the Waltz of the Snowflakes, or whatever that thing is, and they wind up in Candy Town or Candyland or Sugarville or something like that, Cavity Alley, whatever you want to call it, Diabetic Beach. Anyway, that's where they are, and nothing happens. They sit there while people dance in front of them, and they do the Nutcracker Suite, because the Nutcracker Suite consists of the characteristic dances which happen to entertain Clara and the Prince, the divertissement, as it's called, in Act 2. It also has the overture to the whole thing, and the little miniature march, and then the Waltz of the Flowers from the very end. And that's the Nutcracker Suite, that is. But all the rest of it, which is tons and tons of brilliant music, got left out until, yay, Antal Dorati. I mean, this may not be the first one, but it's the best sounding first one because it's in stereo. They did them in mono first, of course. But this one, oh my goodness, with the London Symphony, he remade this with the Concertgebouw for Philips. Very, very fine performance as well. But I have a certain affection, since this is my fave, for this original stereo one. Because first of all, the sonics are incomparably vivid. Second of all, Dorati was an amazing ballet conductor. I mean, that's sort of what he did for most of his early career anyway. And he always did unusual repertoire. I mean, we just talked about him doing the Tchaikovsky orchestral suites. So, this was a classic from the day that it first came out. And yes, there are maybe 10 or 12, like I said, other really fine Nutcrackers. There's Macaris, there's Slatkin, there's the Gergiev, which is very, very good. And I will say I give him props for that one. And, everybody does it. Boninge, whatever his name is, he did it. And there's just lots of them. And they're all good. They're all very, 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 very good. Because it's not a hard piece to do well. The music itself has so much color and so much character that you really have to work to wreck it. Not that, like I said, some people haven't done just that. And there are some dull ones. There was Dudamel in L.A.? Ugh, that wasn't too interesting. But generally speaking, it comes off very well as the Nutcracker we know and love. But Mercury Living Presence, with their incomparably vivid sonics, and Dorati with his sense of propulsion and feeling for the dance and for the rhythm of the piece, oh my goodness, it's just marvelous. And this particular set, it's on 2 CDs because the Nutcracker is just a teeny bit long. So Act 2 is on disc 2. It's only 37 minutes and 55 seconds. You also get the Serenade for Strings with the Philharmonia Hungarica, which is a not inconsiderable bonus. Now, I don't know if this is still around, and I mean, it's certainly in the big Mercury Living Presence box, of course. So it's available that way. Of course, assuming the box is still available, which some are and some aren't. But fear not. It never disappears for very long. And like I said, if you're into your nutcrackers, you can get your nuts cracked any way you want with any one of a very broad and excellent selection of performances. But listen to the complete ballet. I mean, there's just so much great music besides the suite. It's really just a shocker. And I do wish we'd hear it more in concert. I really do. You don't have to watch it. There's nothing to watch, basically, after Act 1. I mean, I know everybody goes at Christmas and they show it on TV, and we get to, it's on YouTube with 7 trillion productions, because this is how ballet companies the world over make their annual revenue, by doing nutcrackers at Christmas, and everybody comes to watch it and pays. So, I mean, good for them. Let them make their money, but it's just so lovely to just listen to. The music is so extraordinary, so rich, and so melodically, well endowed. It's just amazing. Amazing! So there's my Nutcracker. Dorati LSO, Mercury Living Presence. Go for it. Keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me. Take care.